Got the RM just about ready. Nothing but a coolant and crankcase oil change. Maybe tension the chain, but pretty much ready to fucking rock and roll here. But today's big project I got going, now that I'm finally up moving around after being pretty sick all week, but this never-ending money pit I got right here. I think I'm just about $5,000 even now in parts, trying to get a kid's toy essentially to perform on a level entertaining for me. Had lots of trouble trying to jet this and ended up just getting a hold of Vito's Racing, and they pretty much told me to, in order to open this engine up with all the mods I got on there, that I need a bigger intake boot, a bigger carb, and to go with a mount on a pod filter. So that's kind of what I'm doing today. I just got to wash her up. I got everything locked and ready to go here. Bigger carb, Keen style, flat slide. I got the recommended jets in there they told me to start with. But basically, the last thing I had stock left on this kid's toy was the carburetor, and now that's going to be opt out because it cannot feed enough to open this thing up. So I have to take her out and wash all the ore off her. Be removing the air boot and intake boot and mounting in the new deal, and I suppose work on jetting. I mean, I got the amount of money I got into this fucking thing is just retarded. Start with the electrical. I soldered in Moose Racing coils for the stator. I got an arm stator advanced curve CDI, high output coil and plug wire. I went with a Vito's Racing big bore and their 3mm stroker. It's a 72 bore, and the +3, I mean a stock crank is 57, so even 60 millimeters, I think it comes out to 244.29 cc's to be exact. So I guess you might as well call it a 250 blaster, I suppose. But I didn't spare nothing. I mean, I replaced every transmission bearing and I did the block off kit, some aftermarket reeds, the Toomey B1 exhaust, Vito's clutch. Basically replaced everything. I can't think of anything I overlooked. So it's a brand new engine, brand new exhaust. So I wasted a bunch of money on side things like Nerf bars and polished rims and shock covers and I suppose a fancy little bumpers and grippy seats and stuff. Basically a pile of senseless money into a kid's toy. So hopefully after I mount this son of a bitch in, it opens it up and starts giving me a little bit of what I'm looking for. I do have a lead on a Yamaha Banshee, which will be which will be my next build next winter, so that I know I'll have no problem making badass, but I just kind of want to see how far I could take this little kid's toy, and I guess we'll see after jetting it to this bigger carb, and we'll see what we got cooking. I mean, Vito's Racing basically told me that, you know, with the mods I got, I should, at the crank anyways, be in low 40s to mid 40s for horsepower and maybe put out mid to upper 30s at the wheel. So basically I'm lucky using that stock carb if I'm getting half that, and I can definitely feel it fall on its face and high RPM, so I guess we'll see. to say that I'm absolutely impressed with the results. I've thrown the stock size carb in the trash and thrown this on the stroker kit. So basically we're gonna go with a big bore stroker and put all the mods in. It's time to throw that baby 28 mil stock carb that these blasters have right in the garbage because they just can't deliver. I had no problem pounding through the gears. I mean, tomorrow, taking her to the track and work on getting the suspension set up, hit some jumps. But just kind of got a small alleyway out here, so but as you see in the video, I had no problem just snapping through the first 4 gears. I'm sure I can rock with all 6 now. That's kind of what I was looking for, something that get this blaster to really rip, because the stock ones are, well, they're a pooch. They have nothing to offer. I happened to build one the other year for my daughter. She didn't get into it, and I sold it, but I just had a lot of fun beating on it at the track before I sold it, like hitting jumps and stuff, and the only thing that was lacking was some serious takeoff power and being able to round corners and make good jumps, you know, like on the track with the bike. So yeah, so you're gonna spend the money on the Vito's big bore, get the bigger Keen carb, and I got a 34 mil right here. I mean, probably should have even went bigger, I suppose. I feel like I should have went 36 maybe, but no, it hits good. And now finally go to the track and go hit some doubles and tabletops and get the suspension dialed in and ready to rock. I've had people ask me on the rebuild video how fast it is, and it was hard for me to really answer that question. It was like trying to run it on that stock carb, and stock carb just doesn't deliver. It falls on its face, and a whole different animal now, so I suppose once I have time I'll GPS it, but when it comes to machines for the track, I really don't give a shit about top end. I'm looking for out of the hole. I want to round a corner, feather through gears, and not come up short on a jump. It's kind of what I'm aiming at. I suppose if I played games with it and changed sprocket ratios around and tire sizes, whatever, try to patch up for more speed, but not really what I'm going for. But, the gears definitely wind up better. I can feel that with the carburetor that can deliver. So I don't know. With the stock carb falling on its face, I got like 60 miles an hour. So we'll see now that I got something that's going to deliver and wind it out. So, but I guess that ends it at $5,000 in parts. And I'm including everything in that parts, like all the way down to the paint I used to paint the frame, and I got wheel spacers, Nerf bars, shock covers, new bumpers. I replaced every damn cable. The only two things I didn't replace was the axle bearings, because they're so good. I have the axle bearings on the shelf, and the swing arm bearings are good. I just greased them. But other than that, though, new bearings in the front hubs here, all the cables, the CDI aftermarket, Moose Racing high output coils I soldered in, Vito's clutch kit, little stroker. Oh, it was a fun project for the winter. I had a great time. Great fun building it, and I really just wanted to do something with the old school air cooled, but I wanted to get it in a position fun for me. Like I'm used to like riding my RM250 and motocross bikes, but after riding the stock one, hitting jumps with it, I was like, wow, it's pretty cool. It's pretty badass hitting jumps on a 4-wheeler, and I was like, well, after I sold that one, I kind of missed it. So I was like, well, I'll see if I can find a marketplace and wait for one dirt cheap so I can spend all the money on parts, making it, you know, the way I would want it or fun for me. So I pulled this quad off marketplace for $100. It was just a engine in a box, some parts. The original frame was tweaked and junked, and I mean, I reused all the A-arms except for one. One I ordered used off eBay because it was bent. The frame that it came with was junk. I bought the frame off eBay with title matching serial number for like $350 or whatever the hell I paid for it. But it was nice because I was able to title the build when I was done. The original frame that was with the engine said 2002. This frame is a 2000 is the year of the frame. But so I got it titled as a 2000 build, trail stickered. So if I want to go dick around on some trails besides going to the track, I can do that without receiving tickets. And my only complaint is I waited forever to get my polished rear rims, and the place I ordered from, I ordered December, and January came, February came, March came, April came. I just fucking canceled on them, so I'm gonna have to find someone else selling a 4100 bolt pattern 8-inch aluminum polished rim. So I guess it's one thing I have left, but other than that, this thing's ready to fucking, well, ready for me to beat the shit out of it, I suppose. But first quad build, like I mentioned earlier in the video, I was having my kind of doubts, even though I was putting the bigger carb on there, but I'm happy now. But I got a lead on a Banshee. That's going to be my next build, and I don't know if I'm going to go over the top and do a stroker build on the Banshee, or if I just want to make the Banshee stock with aftermarket exhaust and reeds. It's kind of where I'm at with that, because I still want it to be dependable. I'm that kind of guy. It's either going to be built brand new stock with aftermarket exhaust, or I'm going to go from that end all the way to the other end. So it's either that or it'll be a 421 Cheetah Cub stroker Banshee. That I see I can get that kit for $4,200 off eBay. Comes with everything: the exhaust, the kit, the cylinders, the crank, the clutch, everything, calling out one package. So we'll see. I just gotta tackle this lead I got on this blown up Banshee, and it's pretty much in parts, I guess. For all the parts are there for like $1,200, and I'm like, well, I'll buy that and go to town on it this winter, and then have a second one